Now, what about cancellations? It's always a big question, and part of me feels like cancellations are almost a relic of back pre 2006 when law schools were averaging scores as opposed to taking the highest. Now, of course, cancellations may have a role if something goes terribly, terribly wrong, but I'm of the opinion that cancellations are to be reserved for those rare cases when you know for a fact something was awful, as opposed to having a vague sense of unease walking out of the test center. So, with that said, how do you look at cancellations?
Again, it's like a lot of things. When we see multiple instances, that's more when flags start to arise for us. That someone has one cancellation is not a huge deal, because we do know sometimes those life events happen. You thought you were over that cold or the flu, and really you weren't, and you know for sure you didn't. You didn't even get to the end of multiple sections, so you know your score is not going to be where it is. Where reflective of what you really could do. So, but I also agree. I think most of the time a cancellation is just not worth it, in part because we're not using average scores internally for our review process, but also because you put a lot of energy into it, you pay a lot of money to take the LSAT, unless you're really certain that something severely inhibited your performance, you might as well go ahead and see what that score was to see how you performed, because everyone doubts how well they did after the test, right? Everyone's convinced they were terrible, and has that instant inclination to cancel. And I think you might as well use it as a point to kind of see how you did, even if you didn't perform optimally. Okay, at least here's where I'm actually testing under real life test conditions, and you can kind of tweak your preparation from there. But I think unless you have a very sure sense that something went wrong that day, you might as well go ahead and keep the score. We're going to use the high score, even though we might see a score that's not great. So I would agree. I like to reserve the cancellation for extreme circumstances rather than kind of just to be extremely risk averse, with having a score that's maybe not exactly what you wanted.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.